Hello everybody, from me Rick, a very warm welcome, and to the newcomers, also hope for you that you will be joining us continuously. So today we're doing another one of our value-added products, which is lamb rib. We're going to be focusing on the lamb lollipop, or also known as your lamb pinwheel. And then obviously on the flip side, we're just going to go to a tenderized lamb rib. So I'm going to start with the pinwheels. What we're going to do is you take your rib. I have started on it already just to get a head start here. With the flank as well, if you can leave the flank on as well. What we're going to do is you put your knife in just underneath the rib, closest to the bone as you can, and you're going to move it all the way along. Move it all the way along, as close as you can to the bone, and cut just out the end there. And what you're going to do is the same on that side. You'll go right up against the bone and move your blade all the way along. Do be careful, knives are sharp. What you can do with this is bone broth. Make a nice bone broth with the rib. Or also, what you can do is just pop it in your stew. You can break up the bone. If you have a little saw at home or something, just break the bone up, pop it in your stew. It's going to give it great flavor. Really, nothing goes to waste. I'm going to put that there. Right, what we're going to do now next is we're going to roll the lamb rib. I'm going to do it long ways this way. You can also do it that way. But then you're going to get just small little medallions like this. So what I'm going to do is I want something really big. I'm going to roll them this way up. So here we go. Roll it, try and roll it as tight as you can. Roll it all the way. Don't worry about the ends. The ends, we're going to trim them. They are going to come out a little bit. And here we go. We're nearly there. Spread it out a little bit. And voila. That's done. Then you turn it around so that your flap is facing you now. And what you're going to do is you're taking your society sticks. We've got a few society sticks here. And start on the one end. And you put it in as close as you can, not to waste too much meat. And you push it through. Push it through to the other end. And give it about 2 centimeters, 1.5, 2 centimeters before you put the next stick in, just so that there's a bit of a gap for the blade to go through, and also that you get quite a decent thickness in the medallion as well. And we're going to put this one also through. There we go. See how many we can get out of this. Again, leave it a bit of a gap, 2 centimeters or so. We're going to push this one also. Try and get them straight through the middle of the circle that you've made and you've rolled. Get another one. Same story here. Do you remember, folks, my email address is on the top of the screen. If you have any queries, any suggestions, or if you'd like me to look up a recipe for you, I've really got a nice one to go with the lamb rib, the tenderized lamb rib. I'm going to give it to you as soon as we are done. This one's giving me a bit of a problem, but I'm getting it. I'm getting there. This one's going to be a little bit thicker, a little bit of a hiccup with that one. And I think we can do the last 2 there. That's it. We could have fitted maybe another one. There we go. So it looks like a little bit of a centipede. So now we're going to take the blade and just trim the first slice off. Once again, nothing goes to waste. You can cube this, little cubes like that, and put it in your stew. Nothing, as I said, goes to waste. So you can put, we're just going to put this in the corner of the plate here. So that's going to be like that. And now we can start cutting each medallion in turn. So there we go. How nice does that look, eh? Great on the braai. You can also do it on a frying pan. Do a shallow fry, a little bit of olive oil, and just a couple of minutes aside like that. A couple of minutes that side, a couple of minutes that side. It should be done. Once again, don't just forget about it. Look after them, attend to them. We've got in the third one here. They look beautiful, don't they? Imagine now you get invited to a bring and braai, or you have some friends over and you want to show off a bit. Well, that's the ideal thing. That's the ideal thing to do. Show them what you've done, what you're capable of doing. You always get that little bit of satisfaction at the end of the day that you accomplished something. You did this. So this one's a little bit thicker. Like I say, do attend to them. You aren't just going to forget about them once you're doing them. Either on the braai, on the grill, or as I said, even shallow fry on the frying pan. Here we go. And I think we're going to be able to make one more. Yeah, great stuff. So we've got lucky number 7 coming up. Here we go. That's number 7. They look amazing, don't they? And once again, as I said, nothing goes to waste. So the little bit that you've got left over there, just cut them into small little cubes. And as I say, they're going to make a great addition to your stews. They give you a lovely, lovely flavor. This lamb fat is amazing. Once you've got it crisp on the braai, you'll really taste how that fat just melts in your mouth. It's really juicy, and it just gives flavor to everything. So here we go. Those are a little bit of cubes that I have, that we can pop in to the stew. So what you can do is you leave them just like that if you're happy with it plain. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is actually just spice them with a little bit of barbecue spice. So I've got barbecue spice here. What I'm going to do is just sprinkle generously over it. Try and cover everything. Don't worry about the sides. Gives it a bit of texture as well, and a bit of color. So you'll have a lovely tasting lamb pinwheel. And what happens is, try and also let it soak in for a while. So let the spice work, let it work in, and what you'll see is the spice actually changes color because of the moisture of the meat. Which is nothing wrong, it's just that then you know it's actually working, that it's actually mixing with the moisture of the meat, and it's going to start pulling into it, and you're going to have very flavorful pinwheel. As I say, do let them soak in for a few hours. You're going to do them both sides if you want to. I'm just doing the one side now as for demonstration purposes. We're nearly done. And as I say, leave it overnight even. Depends if you're going to be doing the braai in the morning. Do them in the evening sometime and let them them soak in overnight, and you can obviously pop it in the fridge just to make sure that it stays fresh, and just obviously cover it with a net or another plate or a bit of foil, whatever you feel like you need to do there. And there we go. We'll have a look at those just now, but that's that out the way. We'll see how it's going to start to mix in with the meat and the moisture, but they really look good. How's that? Imagine bringing that to the braai. Right, on to our marinated lamb rib. I've already taken off the rib. You do exactly the same as you did with that one. Put the blade right up against the bone and you work all the way around it. All the way around it. Put the blade on that side and you work all the way around it. Eventually it will come loose, it will come off. And once again, as I said, no wastage. Pop this in a bone broth or in the stews and it's really going to be tasty. So here's your lamb rib. What you ask your butcher to do, if you don't have, obviously you don't have a tenderizer, is let him put it through the meat tenderizer. Just once or twice is enough. And then you can continue doing the marinade yourself. So what we've got here is a bit of olive oil. We have some lemon juice. We have some coarse crushed black pepper. We have some garlic flakes. And then we have some rosemary. I'm fortunate enough to have rosemary in the garden, so I picked it fresh and I'm going to use that. What you can also do if you don't have it fresh, just go to the supermarket and you pick up some dried rosemary. That'll work just as good. So we're going to start. Put your olive oil in. Ooh, listen to that. There we go. Generous amount. You're going to try and cover. Lamb is thin, so you won't need too much, but at least try and cover it. And as I say, once again, you are going to listen to that. You are going to leave it overnight or for a few hours at least, just so that it soaks in. There we go. I'm just going to get this out the picture and I'm going to bring that closer. This side here. So, here we go. I'm going to put a few sprinkles of the black pepper, crushed coarse black pepper. Not too much now. Here we go. And then the garlic flakes as well, same thing. Just break them up even more when you put them in. Garlic flakes. You can also use fresh garlic. You cut them into little circles, little slices, little wedges, whatever you feel you need to do it. Or even the crushed garlic. The one that I'm using is flakes, but you can also use crushed garlic. Anything will do as long as it gives it the flavor. There we go. I think that will be enough. And then obviously the rosemary. I'm going to pop that in the corner. Just sprinkle a few pieces of the rosemary leaf around. There we go, that's enough as well. And then onto the lamb rib. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to turn the board this way, bring that a bit closer. And that there. So what you can do, I'm going to do little strips like that. Go about 3 to 4 centimeters thick. And as I say, I'm going to marinate them overnight. And then I'm going to be doing a shallow fry. So I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in a frying pan. And then I'm just going to do a couple of minutes aside, and Bob's your uncle. They're going to be lovely. There we go. So just let it soak in there a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to cut the rest of them. As I say, about 3 or 4 centimeters. Not too thick, not too thin. I think it's just the right size. So you're basically doing a lamb rasher. That's what you're doing. But there's no bone in this one. Normally rashers, they have a bit of bone because they're coming from the rib, from the belly part, which has your belly rib. But these, as I say, we've deboned it and we've pushed it through the tenderizer. And now we're going to marinate them. And then I'm going to put it on a frying pan, shallow fry, as soon as it's had time to marinate. There we go. So out of one rib, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 pieces. Not bad, eh? Not bad. So here we go. We're going to pop them in, give it a little whirl and a swirl. There we go. What you're going to have to do, if you haven't got enough marinade, is just remember to, every couple of hours, just give it a turn. Just so that both sides get a little bit of the marinade and the sauce. And there we go. Oh, doesn't that look good? And we're going to have to do these 3 on top like this, but we will turn them over as soon as a couple of hours have passed. How's that? That looks absolutely divine. So there we go. And as I said, a nice recipe to go with this is your glazed vegetables, mainly peas, beans, and carrots. Nice side dish of parsley rice, and then for dessert, a nice apricot muffin. How does that sound? Sounds good to me. Thank you for watching, and until my next video, take care. Cheerio.